beer is a growth industry for us. It's not for everybody. I think that the industrial brewers have finally just now understood that there's no future in industrial brewing. They slowly decline. One might have an up year over another here and there, but essentially, the mass market flavorless beers are in decline, whereas craft brewing, which is what we're doing, is on a rapid rise. Now, with economic troubles and shortages of hops and malt and everything else going on, there can be blips in this. But just as we see in the rest of the food culture, it really only goes in one direction, and that's up. People are not going to say, you know what, that Starbucks, it's okay, but what I really want is instant Maxwell House. It's just, it's not going to happen. It never has happened. It never will happen. Once people get the good stuff, I don't care what it is, whether it's coffee or it's olive oil or it's bread, or it's cheese, they're not going back to, the stuff that they used to have, because it's just, it's not as pleasant and it's not as nice. They're not getting as much out of it. And, beer now is basically an affordable luxury. You can buy some of the best beer in the world, just right around the corner for $2. I mean, how good is that? That's a good question. I mean, there are some mass market beers that I think that that are generally pretty good. I mean, I think Guinness is a good example of a huge mass market beer that's not bad. Hoegaarden, which comes from Belgium, which is a mass market beer made by the world's largest beer company, but it's not bad. By and large, though, what you tend to get is something that tastes like seltzer water. I mean, that is the sort of the average, and it doesn't matter whether it's something which comes from. I mean, there's whether it's Belgian seltzer water or it's Italian seltzer water or it's American seltzer water. And it's sort of funny because you see these brands over here, and often they're the cheapest brands in their own countries. But then, when you get here, they put all sorts of advertising around it and sell it for $8 a pint. And people back in the host country, and it doesn't, are laughing all the way to the bank. So whether, the Mexican beers, the ones that are popular here, for example, are the brands that would be like Busch Light or something back in Mexico. I mean, they're the cheapest possible things that, everybody's like, why are you drinking that? But they think it's pretty funny. Oh, I mean, certainly. I mean, you're seeing now suddenly explosive growth of interest in beer in China, for example, where you have, and that's part of what's going on with the shortages of materials, because part of it is that suddenly 100 million new Chinese people in the last 2 years suddenly have enough money to afford, their first beer. And it's one of the first things they want as sort of a consumer item. So, there are huge possibilities in places like that. And, that's just for beer, period. For craft beer, even larger, because you get into, okay, they're a little bit more expensive. But, for example, in India, you have people who traditionally may have drunk beer, but now people have money and not even enough stuff to spend it on. And here now you have a beer that actually can work with their food, as opposed to the mass market beers that they have, which really, Indian food being one of the most complex cuisines in the world, they don't make any beers that go with their food. Wine, by and large, doesn't work with the food. So, what are you going to have, with this fantastic cuisine? And I think, the answer is traditional craft beer. And if you go to places here like Tabla, etc., you'll see, the opportunity there for some great pairing.